Greetings, ladies and gents, and welcome to this latest version of Tales from Outer Space, where I take an HFY story from somewhere around the internet and read it aloud for your enjoyment. All the relevant links are down below. Like, subscribe, and all that YouTube comf to help this video and channel grow. Anyways, as always, I hope that you enjoy. I would just like to thank the following Tier 5 patrons and channel members for supporting the channel: BuzzKillington, Datamagnet, and Bob the Dragon. Thank you again. And now, on to the story. Story number 1. Technical support written by CC452. Tom. Hello, help desk. Tom speaking. Unintelligible hooting. Tom. Please, calm down. Our systems aren't allowed to translate level 4 profanity or above. He paused. A single hoot. Tom. Go ahead. Caller. Our atmospheric regulators stopped working. Millions are gonna die. Tom. Oh, that's bad. Now, I see you have a Type 8 atmospheric regulator of your own species design. Thankfully, you have weeks until you start noticing any ill effects. What are your engineers saying about it? Caller. That's good, thank the Aether. The hoot follows, surprisingly similar to a sigh. Tom. Yes, and the engineers? Caller. What about them? Tom. What are they saying about your regulator? Caller. Oh, I wouldn't know. Oh, for the love of... Tom. Can you please ask them? Or better yet, put one of them on the comms. Caller. Oh no, they've been dead for several centuries. Tom. What? Caller. Yes. Tom looks at the display summary of the regulator, notices the construction date. Tom. Wait. Are you telling me you haven't had any engineers working on your atmospheric regulator since it was built? Caller. Of course not. Why would we? It was finished. Tom mutes his comm and sighs very loudly. Other agents around him look up from their own displays and give him a sympathetic look. He unmutes the comm. Because you need people to make sure that it still works. Things can break. Maintenance has to be conducted. A hoot of confusion interrupts him. What is maintenance? Tom bangs his head against his desk. It doesn't make a sound. It is designed for this. Okay, I'm bringing up the technical schematics for your regulator now. I'm going to walk you through fixing it. Oh, that's okay. We have weeks. I'll just call back then. Another bang on the desk. No, we need to fix this now. Why? Tom rolls his eye and internally screams, because it could take a while to fix and you don't know what's wrong. It could be worse. It could explode. It could... Just, trust me on this. Okay. Do I have your permission to help you fix this? Sure. Great. Permission logged and accepted. Now I need you to go up to the regulator site and start telling me what you see. We'll start with a visual inspection and go from there. What? No, not us. You're supposed to send a human. You built it. It's on your own world, and you've ignored it for centuries. We're not sending a human out there to fix this. I'm going to walk you through it. No, I'll just call back and get another human. Tom grins devilishly. I'm sorry. You gave me permission to help you fix your regulator, not to fix it for you. If you call back, you'll be told the exact same thing. And as the person of your species who accepted it on their behalf, it falls on you to do this. But that means if it breaks again, everyone will look at me to fix it. Yep. Several more hoots that the translator refuses. If you don't remain civil, I'll terminate this call and you'll have to restart the entire process with another support representative. Fine, what do I do? A few frustrating hours later, after educating the caller on what a visual inspection and troubleshooting mean. Okay, I finished the sequence. Tom looks surprised. That was quick. Well done. Are all the displays lit up and showing information? This is a redundant question. Tom can see them himself from his remote connection. Yes, is that good? Tom, yes, it is. Looks like everything is working well. Great job. You really did complete that startup sequence fast. Oh, thanks. I guess I still remember it from doing it before. Once I realized what you asked me to do, it was the reverse. It wasn't so bad. Wait, before? Yes, before I called. You did the reverse with what? Well, did you turn the atmospheric regulator off? No, I just made the annoying blinking lights on the display go away. Tom, unintelligible yelling, the translator refuses. What was that? Nothing, just, the reverse sequence you did before you called. Don't do that again. Ever. Okay. Caller XE4057023 disconnected. Report on call XE4057023. Status resolved. Calls. Caller turned off planet-wide atmospheric regulator due to annoying blinking lights. Resolution. Caller instructed to turn it on again. End of story. Story number 2. To Valhalla, written by Hexerno. Well, this is it. This is the end of the good ship Flot Utova. We had been tasked with exploration of the farthest reaches of the galaxy, to boldly go where no man has gone before, to quote our human team member, Bjorn. As it would turn out, we had managed to boldly go where pirates had gone before, and promptly encountered the blasted things. Grot pirates had boarded our ship and immediately started killing my men. Where there was once a crew of 20, only 5 of us remained, all barricaded in the humans' room. All that was left of our crew was the captain, myself, the doctor, a silicate-based being named Skix, a reptilian security guard named Festus, our xenobiologist, a flightless avian whose name was unpronounceable, but has accepted the human's nickname of Hugin, and the human Bjorn. Bjorn's job was just to be the ship's designated human. They were, as they say, the galaxy's jack of all trades, meaning that they could usually perform most any task assigned to them, so long as they had an understanding of what they were to be doing. Bjorn was put to perform as security, physical labor, navigation, and was the leader of the away team, who would be the first group to explore whatever we might find out here. Anyways, here we were, trapped in Bjorn's room, with a dozen pirates searching for us. I was sitting in a chair, switching between trying to figure out a way to survive, and reminiscing on the remains of my crew. Skix was seated in the corner, calmly waiting her imminent demise. Festus was reloading his plasma rifle with what little ammunition he had left. Hugin was curled up in Bjorn's bed, whimpering, and Bjorn was pulling out his cultural significance items. Makes sense. I'd be holding onto my child's first carapace had we escaped to my quarters. Suddenly, my musings were interrupted by a large bundle of fur being tossed in my lap. If I die, send me home wrapped in this, with my axe and scythes in my hands, Bjorn's deep, almost lyrical voice said. I looked up to him and found him looking very different. Gone was the ever-present grin, the eyes brimming with laughter. In their place was a grimace that seemed to cut across his face, and his eyes were deep and cold as a polar ocean. The strong hands were still there, but in them was a truly massive axe. There was a knife as long as his forearm at his side, and a large wooden shield on his back. He turned away from me and stood at the barricaded door. He effortlessly moved aside the dresser that we had bolted and shifted in front of the door, knelt down to one knee, laid his axe in front of him, bowed his head, and spoke. All-Father Odin, look upon my deeds and let my end be worthy of song. Sweet Freya, goddess of love and war, give me strength of shield and sword. God Njord, hear my plea, I ask safe passage across your sea. And if I die an Einhjar's death, let Hiranghari's sail put me to rest. He then stood up and for a moment he looked completely calm, as though nothing were wrong in the world. He then kicked open the door and charged out with his shield in front of him, shouting, "To Valhalla!" We all stared in shock. Bjorn had just charged into a hallway that was teeming with quart pirates, armed literally to the teeth, cut off one of their heads, and was now shouting, "Come to me, you quart shites!" We knew that he had decapitated one of them, because his head was bashed against the open and severely dented door, fanged jaw hanging open. A moment later, I peered out to find that he had actually decapitated two, literally disarmed three, and likely chased one or more down the hallway, judging by the damage, both cuts and blaster burns that trailed after him. Festus, Skix, Hugin, and I followed the destruction to the command center. Along the way, we found two more bodies, another partially decapitated, and one with a severed spinal cord. We killed the disarmed and paralyzed quart, more out of mercy than any sense of vengeance or retribution. The quart, and pirates in general, had no use for disabled, and surviving would have been much worse for them. In the command center, we found Bjorn and 5 remaining pirates. Well, for a given value of remaining. One had Bjorn's axe buried in his skull, another had his throat slit. One laid beside it with a dent in his skull that would match the broken and smoldering remains of his shield. Another was holding Bjorn's knife for him in his heart, and the other was laying on top of Bjorn with its neck snapped. Bjorn himself was somehow still alive, despite having enough blaster wounds to kill Festus, Hugin, Skix, and myself. He groaned and rolled the pirate off of him. We all stood still in shock as a somehow alive Bjorn stood up and walked over to us. "Hey, Dr. Scrooks, I think I could use some help here." End of story. And that, my friends, concludes this video. I hope that you enjoyed, and if you do, please consider supporting the author, even by popping over and leaving a thumbs up or a nice comment, just to show your appreciation for the story. However, if you wish to support this channel, there are links down below which will help immensely. I will see you all in the next one, and until then, I hope that you have a fantastic day. Cheers.